The tank, armored, mobile, lethal. Introduced to the battlefield during World War I, this remarkable combat vehicle has evolved into one of the most feared and respected weapons in military history. Dramatic improvements in speed, armor, and killing power have increased its capabilities. But the tank as an individual weapon of destruction is not the greatest concern today. Rather, it is the emphasis being placed on it by hostile nations that is so disturbing. Many are building tank forces well beyond their defensive needs, threatening the security of neighboring states, states not well equipped to meet the threat of invasion, invasion that could come with little or no warning. Can such threats be dealt with effectively? Can non-aggressive nations feel secure against invasion? One answer is to mass a counterforce of ground power at the border. But a border of any length presents problems. First, where will an invasion be launched? It just isn't practical to fortify for every possibility. Second, a buildup of ground forces is not only expensive, but can be provocative. Intentions may be misinterpreted. There must be an alternative that can supplement existing ground forces. A strong defense is obviously necessary, but what type? A potent defensive weapon to dissuade the most aggressive neighbor. Something with enough firepower to destroy the tank and any accompanying armor. With enough lateral mobility to quickly cut off any new penetration by the invading forces. With enough reserve to stay in the battle area for extended periods. And with enough structural stamina to take tremendous punishment and still fly. A weapon that can strike lethal blows again and again until the enemy is driven back. Such a weapon has been developed for the United States Air Force, the same weapon that is now being deployed for the defense of NATO. That weapon is the Fairchild A-10 close air support aircraft, Thunderbolt II. Thunderbolt II is the ideal weapon for frontline anti-tank defense, wherever the need exists. Ideal because that's the job it was designed for. Operationally mature, the A-10 has been in the Air Force's tactical inventory for more than 3 years. During that time, it has met challenge after challenge. At places like the Nellis Ranges in Nevada, Eielson in Alaska, Nightmare Range in Korea, and today in NATO deployment to RAF bases Bentwaters and Woodbridge in Great Britain. Thunderbolt II is a short takeoff and landing aircraft able to carry a wide mix of ordnance. It can be equipped for any anti-armor mission. The A-10 has 11 underwing pylon stations. These carry free-fall bombs for area targets, precision-guided bombs and missiles for point targets, as well as countermeasures to protect against enemy anti-aircraft weapons. Thunderbolt II has an internally mounted 7-barrel 30mm Gatling gun, capable of holding nearly 1,200 rounds and firing 4,200 rounds per minute. Its power and accuracy can destroy a tank with a 1-second burst. A feat actually accomplished against captured Soviet T-62 main battle tanks. Other testing has confirmed the gun's anti-tank lethality even when extremely low altitude tactics are used. Such testing is only one proof of the A-10's unique capability as an anti-tank close air support aircraft. Thunderbolt II has withstood severe punishment in survivability testing. Direct hits from hundreds of 23mm armor-piercing and high-explosive anti-aircraft rounds. Rounds fired into its airframe from cockpit to tail. The A-10's design is simple and tough. It's built to survive. Titanium armor plating to protect the pilot. Fire-resistant, self-sealing fuel tanks. Dual hydraulic flight controls with cable backup. Redundant structure throughout. The A-10 can fly on only one engine, or with severe damage to wings or tail. Its structural simplicity and component interchangeability allow for quick battlefield repair. Survivability is also achieved through the aircraft's performance and tactics. The A-10 has consistently demonstrated its capability in realistic combat scenarios. Its capability to maneuver in concert with Army helicopters and ground forces, to make itself a difficult target for opposing gunners, as well as an elusive, if not impossible, target for enemy aircraft. Heavy jinking, terrain masking, deceptive paint schemes, quiet and smokeless engines, all contribute to minimum detection with maximum battlefield surprise. What about responsiveness? Thunderbolt II has proven itself in that area as well. In one field test, the Air Force operates a pair of A-10s from an austere airfield. From dawn to dusk, each flies an astounding 17 individual simulated combat sorties, each mission with a radius of 60 nautical miles. And during a reforger exercise in Germany, A-10s are the only fixed-wing aircraft able to break out visually to engage tanks and other targets during 3 days of poor weather and visibility. Another measure of the A-10's responsiveness is its forward basing capability, a combat training exercise in the Mojave Desert. Several A-10s operate from a dry lake bed of deep talc and blowing sand, proof that the aircraft can be deployed even in severe environments to support engaged troops. Other testing to evaluate A-10 reliability under wartime conditions has more than exceeded expectations. The Fairchild A-10 Thunderbolt II, now in production for frontline defenses. Not a provocative weapon, but an equalizer against aggression. Its purpose? To stop the tank.